You know what time it is. This package comes from a really cool follower from Southern California, Chad, and he's just a really cool guy. Just sent me a note, say, hey, I've got some cool stuff I want to send you, and just check it out. And so I'm super excited to see what he's got in here. There's also a big stone in here he's wanting me to see about cutting up to see if it's amazing inside or not. So we'll do that. So let's see what he sent over. Okay, so Chad's got a nice little guide here, and the bags are numbered, so we'll step through them. So this first one, it just says, please cut. So these are the ones he's curious about cutting and see what's happening there. Ooh, that is very interesting. That is definitely worth cutting. Huh. That's interesting too. I can smell the ocean calling me in a good way. Wow, this thing is wild. What is going to be inside of this? You gotta see this. So there's these kind of snowflake kind of shapes all around this here, which is really interesting. Druzy pockets all over the place. I don't know what to call it. It's really cool. I think we'll cut it right along the spine of it here, right down the middle, and see what this baby's hiding. That's pretty cool. This guy's just, look at all that veins, and that's madness. Look at that. That'll be fun too. All right, well, we know what to do with those guys. All right, so number one here, number one is what he said is lightning stones. Huh. Well, interesting. So these are a little different than what I would typically be seeing as a lightning stone here in the Great Lakes. But that doesn't mean they're not lightning stones. Yeah, what I'm used to seeing in a raw lightning stone is like this type of like mudstone that's fractured and then backfilled with like calcite. It gives you that really kind of, you know, looks like a mud ball. In the unpolished state. They polish up incredibly beautiful. I'll give you an example of just a cut one. So, you know, this looked like this before I cut it. You can just see just how incredible that turns out in the cut condition. So these look like, I mean, they don't have any of that rind, but they have the other characteristics. So you can see the fractures and then the backfill into all those fractures that is very common. See that there. And this one, I believe it's calcite. I'm not 100% on that, but I believe the white backfill in the septarians is calcite. This one is that's almost all it is. Look at how incredible that is. That'll be fun to polish up. And then these are like a different, like, I mean, it's interesting because sometimes when I'm polishing lightning stones, they have this kind of brown color, but they're more dominated by like kind of the darker color. So these are like really dominant in that kind of brown, kind of sand color. Oh, these are cool. The more I look at them, the more excited I get. Now this one looks a little more like what I'm used to. Very much like what I'm used to. Oh, these are going to be really fun to work with. Look at that. I see a pendant with that bad boy already. That's pretty amazing. Wow, these are really cool. The more I look at them, the more excited I get. Wow, that's really cool. Okay, well, those are going to be amazing to work with. I'm dying a little bit because I've been down for like a week and a half, missing some wheels for my cabbing machine. So I can't work on this kind of stuff right now. Yeah, Kurt over Earth Bright Rocks and Crystals is working on getting me set up and got them in the mail today with some resurfaced wheels. So I should be back in business soon. All right, number two, quartz. I love quartz. I know they're not the most desirable because they're pretty common, but they're always so beautiful. I'll put in a barrel and I'll be like, you know, it's just some quartz. And then I'm like an 8-year-old when I'm dumping them out, oohing and on over how much I love them. So I'm going to do the same thing with these. These are all super cool. Wow, look at that one. That one's really cool. Look at the red in that. Beautiful. You can never go wrong with quartz. It's so hard. It polishes so nice. It's usually like a 6 or 7 mo. And you can almost never go wrong. 3, hagstone, Omar stone. I know the hagstone, it's usually the ones that have like a hole bored through them, which there they are. So yeah, that's a hagstone for sure. I recognize that, no doubt. Nice deep bore there. Oh, that one's that one's really deep, all the way through. This looks a lot like a just kind of sedimentary rock that I'd find here on Lake Michigan. Root beer agate is number 4. I'm really curious about these. I don't think I've ever seen a root beer agate. Huh, interesting. Well, these look a lot like banded chert, but these are really pretty. I know just looking at kind of the waxy surface on these and just hearing how they're running into each other that they're very hard. And these will polish amazing. I know that for sure. That's going to be super fun. I'm trying hard not to open one of these. It's just screaming at me to open, but I'm going to wait a second. This number 5 says odds and ends, and I'm definitely an odds and ends kind of guy. So I'm really curious to see what he's got here. I love some good odds and ends. Ooh, that's pretty. Almost looks like petrified wood. Oh, that's beautiful. That'll polish up really pretty. It reminds me of, I always carry a rock in my pocket, and just happens today the one I've got in my pocket is this pretty fella here. That makes me think of this one quite a bit. That's going to polish up really pretty. Oh, wow. I saw this, and I thought, well, that's going to have some heft to it. This weighs like nothing. I don't know what that is. That is crazy. Like, it almost feels like there's nothing in my hand. Yeah, odds and ends. I love odds and ends. Pretty orange. Yep. These will go in an odds and ends barrel, and half of them will probably be not worth it, and the other half will be amazing. Kind of like life. Okay, so let's look at, there's 2 more. One says giveaway. This one says Glitter Mountain, Nevada. And man, boy, I'm not sure. I'll have to look up Glitter Mountain, Nevada. They are phenomenal. I know that much. Look at how beautiful that is. Ugh. Get it through the light. Beautiful. So beautiful. They're a little fragile, I can tell. Wow. There's one wet. Look at how beautiful that is. It like turned crystal clear when I got it wet. Wow. Very cool. Okay, this last one's giveaway. And I remember in our exchanges, he said he threw in an extra bag so that I could just give some away to some folks. And so I'm going to do that. Here's some more Glitter Mountain. Some lightning stones, some root beer agates, some quartz. It's a great mix. So I definitely will give these away. I love all of these. How fun is that? Okay, Chad, let's get this bad boy. I'm itching to get this ugly, beautiful, unbelievable fella in the saw. So let's set it up and get this thing cut and see if it's as amazing on the inside as it is on the outside. Thanks, man. I appreciate you. I cut a little edge on the bottom and top here, so I got a place. It's so rounded, I got a place to pinch on my vise so I can have it stick out a little bit. Well, did Chad's big old rock here have anything to hide on the inside? Man, these just patterns on here are just wild, I think. Really cool. Look at that. Very, very interesting. So did this thing have anything to hide? I cut it right down the middle like he asked. Kind of looks like a deer skull or something from that angle. Creepy. Let's see. Ah, not so much. I was really hoping there was going to be a big cavity or something in there. There's little whispers of something interesting, like in these areas. You can kind of see some cavities there. They drop into these druzy pockets here. So, Chad, let me know. I kind of feel like maybe I should slab, cut this in half and maybe cut this one in half too, to see if just kind of opening up these pockets might be kind of interesting. Let me know if you want to. The saw's just waiting there.